IMC Nation operations. And IMC Nation founded by AZD, Arash Party Bazaar, aka Spider in Field, and in a lot of areas of life. And so we're going in field with him tonight, the world's one of the world's most premier clubs, and it's going to be sick. So I got about 20 minutes to talk with you guys, and I titled this stream "A Bonfire versus the Sun." Game as a bonfire is not bad, right? That's a good light, good heat. But the sun, now you can scorch yourself near the sun, but you can orbit it. It can warm you for lifetimes. It's so much more powerful. It's not even comparable. And that is the kind of game that we have. I forgot I was wearing this. I mean, it's a great hat, actually. I might put it back on, actually. Yeah, we'll wear it a little bit longer. So, game. A lot of people like, man, there was a guy that was just here from Canada, and man, conversation, everybody. You got to be able to carry a conversation with guys and with girls if you want to have a relationship. And because at the end of the day, you're going to have a relationship with the girl. So she's going to know you, or she's going to get to know you anyway. She's always going to have a perception of you. But like, walls drop, veils are lifted. Like, who are you? Are you able to communicate just in your day to day? Are you creative? If you're trying to learn a bunch of like things to say at the front end when you first meet a girl or something like that, like you're gonna run out of things to say. You can never add enough things to say. You have to learn a way of creating things to say. And of course, man, it's a competitive world, and the game between men and women have been going on for a lot of generations. So you're probably going to fall on your face if you just try to create things out of nowhere and say it because it's out of touch with what affects her, what moves the dial, what moves her dial. And so if you backtrack, you meet a girl, like, okay, so you're dating a girl or you're in a relationship. Obviously, to be in a relationship, you've probably been dating a little bit. You've done some things, you've had some experiences, and she's gotten to know you and like you, et cetera, et cetera. Let's just move it backwards a little bit. So how did you get her on a date? Where did you meet her? Did you meet her on the date? No, probably not. You met her somewhere and then you met up again sometime in the future after that. So when you met her, you better have made a pretty good impression to bridge it like that. I mean, you could like, try to get with coworkers or people in your school classes or something like that. That's by proximity. So when you're in proximity, like men and women, they get together. That's why it's nothing special that guys are like, man, the ability to go into a new area or a new arena and attract the females of that arena in that area is invaluable, and it's more difficult than you think, but it's more straightforward than you think. It's actually very simple, it's just difficult. And man, to get in a good conversation with somebody, that's why I always want somebody to come stream. You'll see as soon as somebody comes to the stream and we talk back and forth, you'll see that the conversation is what brings out energy, latent energy in what's just there, what's happening with the person. And a lot of times they'll have their own mood or attitude going on for, all the shit that they're going through in their day, whatever, thoughts in their head. And good communication, eye contact, presence, stillness, really listening, caring, but never forgetting. I mean, me, from my male perspective, I'm a man. I'm strong. I'm a lot stronger than the girl I'm talking to, girls I'm talking to. Even if the guy I'm talking to him from strength. Maybe I'm not stronger than him. A lot of times, even strong guys, they speak very weakly. And that's where the idea of strength has to be re-looked at. Look at it again. Because the pharaoh or the king wasn't necessarily the strongest or even the loudest. Could have been, but the slave is really strong, but talks so weak and acts so weak. And maybe we're not in a physical slave society like that, not in America. And you still have big, strong guys that talk so weak. You have little guys that talk weak too. And it makes sense for the little guy. He was probably picked on, grew up weak, everything. But why would a big, strong guy think and act so weak? I mean, it's in his mind. So when we talk about strength, I'm talking about strength of mind. I got a strong mind. Some might call it stubborn, some might call it narrow-minded, whatever. They can sit and evaluate my mind. I don't care about their mind. I'm not evaluating their mind. So, you know, that's what happens when you're doing things in life. You get haters. Like there's this guy on a couple of the YouTube channels. He literally comments on multiple YouTube channels where I post AZD stuff. So he's clearly searching out AZD stuff. Like I could see coming across one channel, but then the next and the next, they're not even linked to each other. He's commenting on all of them. Not a lot. He's not like that obsessed, but I mean, it's kind of like that's big fanboy signs. So if you're seeing this, brother, I forgot your name, or I'd call you out right now. I don't even remember your name. Um, you're a fan, actually. That's why you keep watching and commenting. And we see that with the girls a lot in the venues we go to because we go to a lot of the same venues. That's what this game is built on, reputation. That's why you don't want to learn when you learn tricks and gimmicks and sound bites and shortcuts. You want to keep going to different venues. You don't want to go to the same place because people will learn that, oh, you always do that opener, you always do that joke. You're that guy with that joke. But if you're continually traveling or in new places, then you can get away with it somewhat, but you're living a phony life. Don't you realize like your time is just passing by and you're just regurgitating, repeating lines inauthentically, maybe trying to find the right timing. So you're, you know, convincing yourself it's authentic because it fits the timing. You can tell a joke in the right timing. That doesn't mean it was authentic in the moment that like the joke just spurted up organically. So you're living a phony life. And even if you get the results, then the results are built on phony actions. So authenticity is huge in AZD's game. It's everything. You know, there's like a lot of variables, and each one of them is everything. If you're missing one of them, it doesn't work. It's like if you're missing on the Rubik's Cube, if you're missing one of the squares, is not, you don't have it solved. You could have most of it solved, but that nobody cares about most of it. Maybe somebody will pat you on the back, be like, you're almost there. But it only matters when you get it solved. And how are you going to have long-term harmony with a woman in a relationship? That was the subject of my last video with Jordan Amari. Master Myself was on because that's guys are so far away from a relationship. And some guys have had relationships, but you haven't had harmony in a relationship. So you're so far away from a harmonious relationship where you're dominant, woman is submissive, she's in line, in alignment with you, following and you're guiding and you're elevating her. She's nurturing your purpose or the things that you're doing. Man, it goes for like a honeymoon phase, it goes for a month or two, and then it falls apart. Maybe you stay together for a year, two, or three, it falls apart. Who out there is succeeding with relationships? I am. Student of AZD. AZD succeeding times seven. It's going great. Somebody came to me and they're like, you don't even have multiple relationships. We're like, bro, I had 7 second girlfriends while my girl's been with me. And 3 of those were long term, 2 year or whatever, long term, right? So I could do better and I'm going to get better. And it doesn't mean that those women were even qualified. They're part of my journey. I've evolved so far past them and left them behind. And meanwhile, you're not even in one relationship. Like, come on. Find a harmonious relationship. You'll find guys in relationships, but they crash, 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 crash. I haven't crashed. I've kept elevating. 6 years. I've been elevating for 10 years. I had a different girlfriend when I started with AZD. Actually, right after I started with AZD, I got a lot of girls, but I settled with one and then I kept having multiple women after that. And she was with me and she knew about it and everything. Everything was honest, but I was traveling a lot and I didn't know how to handle the chaos of the woman. It's amazing where I'm at right now and what I was doing with her back then. I don't know how she put up with me. Like, I know why. I'm laughing about it, but why is because I was still the best thing going. That's the thing. You got to be able to continue the conversation and to continue the conversation. If you want to have a date with a girl, meet, and then we talk to pretty girls. So we're not just whatever fucking hairy girl at the dog park or something, or smelly. And the girl at the dog park that is pretty, put her around pretty girls, and she's average or not even average. But it's like when you're comparing to like nothing, a barren wasteland, even a dirty cup of water is like refreshing. Oh, thank God for some water. But when you're around a fucking water store or water filter store, like only the cleanest water. And so the women you talk to, don't even worry about the analogy of like pure or not. You're not going to find pure women, bro. You got to go find like some 8-year-old somewhere that's still a virgin and then like betrothed to be married 20 years later or something. You're not going to find an 18 and up girl that's a virgin that's worth anything. And even if you did, then she's probably fucked up because there's so many pressures and opportunities and availabilities there that the reason she would be is like, and they're all fucked up. That's the thing. I don't know how many girls I have to talk to, how many girls I got to date. And then I'm part of a mastermind where a lot of guys date a lot of girls, and AZD dates a lot of girls, longer than I have, a lot more women. Why do all of us agree that all of them are fucked up? Meanwhile, we're not just like complaining like a therapy circle. We're growing, we're dialoguing, we're reflecting each other, we're correcting each other. It's very obvious there's a lot of online audience, so you can't bullshit an online audience like that. They're watching, you stroke each other's dick. That's like, I mean, you can, I guess that's what Andrew Tate did. A bunch of guys just stroking each other's dick, and then you got like hundreds of thousands of followers, like showing up listening to them talk about bullshit. Some of the things they say are true, but so some of the things that the hobo down the street says are true. Comes from a weird place. And so the cleaner the vessel, the deeper the dive. You have to come from a clean place. I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place. You have to come from a clean place and presence and creativity. You have to be creative. Creative, even just mundane conversation. Like, man, guys are so far from enthusiasm about their own life. If I asked you about your life, could you say it enthusiastically? Who wants to come live and just talk? I got 10 more minutes to go live. Like real evaluation. You don't have to be over the top like all like I put a little bit of black tea in this, so it should have a little bit of caffeine. So I'm not talking about being all hyped up and like caffeinated. I'm like, can you talk about what you do with any sort of enthusiasm? If not, then yeah, go learn some pickup lines because you suck. You're not even happy with what you do in life. You could be a janitor or a lawnmower or something, a trash picker upper. But if you got ambitions, like right now, I'm just picking up trash. But listen, I got this gig. Have been writing this music. I'm rehearsing with this band, blah, blah, blah. Or, late night I'm trading and I've built up a 10K account. And if you haven't, and if you like, there's no reason a woman should really like you if you haven't achieved something. And if you putting pennies aside from a minimum wage job were able to accumulate a 10,000 stock account, then everybody, myself included, would at least look. I don't care that you're minimum wage, bro. You put away just the minimal amount, and because of your studies, you were able to accumulate 10K. It doesn't matter that 10K is not that much. It's a lot for what you did. Like now make it to 12K, 20K, 50K. Like, bro, you're an investor. I get it. Anybody can do it, but you have to be good. I'm not even here pitching investing. I got good at wrestling. I got good at anything. That's the thing. Later in life, I realized how good I was at the earlier things. Like I was a great Boy Scout. People don't care about that. But the thing is I'm a bad boy now. I'm fucking tough. And what are you going to say about it? Like you could say things, what do you call it? Keyboard jockeys or whatever. They could say shit and talk shit, but you wouldn't if you were in front of me. And it's not because I'm going to fight you or whatever. It's just because you're a coward. If you were in front of me, my presence would stun you into paralysis. God damn, that's good language. You wouldn't even be able to put words together like that. That's why if there was even an audience, then you'd really get stunned into paralysis because everyone would see I'm orders of magnitude more intelligent because that's what you have to be a hater like some of the people are. They're so dumb. You could even have an IIQ, but you're dumb. What a waste of life you are that a few seconds of your time is worth typing something. Like, bro, you couldn't find something else to do with your time? Ridiculous. Unless you're really a fan. And if you're a fan, then look at what your communication is. You're a fan, and it's like imagine if somebody told a joke and it was funny and you were laughing, but when you laughed, you cried. And we're like, well, people, that's the thing. It's not a great example because some people cry when they laugh. But I mean, like, what if you got angry there? Like, somebody told a joke and you got angry, and then they were like, why are you getting angry? They're like, no, I really liked the joke, but you were like angry. It's a wrong response to the stimulation. So that's what haters who are really fans are. They're fans, but their only communication is hate, hate, hate. It's negativity. That's what I saw with this guy from Canada that was just here. Man, everything, like we talk about alchemy. That's the thing. When you talk to those beautiful women, you're going to talk to a black hole of negativity because that's what a female is. She's a hyper exaggerated female energy. And if you know how to wield that black hole, then you can spin particles around it at the speed of light. You can wormhole to other dimensions. She can't do it herself. She just imploded. But you're a scientist and you're a star. And she'll keep feeding on you, but keep the right distance and you'll be all right. You'll be all right. You're going to die one day anyway. The sun will burn out at some point. Don't worry about it. And it's not a perfect analogy, but it's pretty good actually. When you see the results that we get, and then if you come to Vegas and try to replicate our results, if you go out with us and try to like do anything like what we do, if you sit with us, you will get eaten alive by these girls. And if you don't, then you'll learn. Because that's really what we're seeking. I'm seeking guys that aren't completely pathetic in game. You got to be able to hold a conversation, just in general. Just can you are you interested in your own life? Are you proud of yourself? Now, if you're not, then you need discipline because you could be broke. You could be jobless for a short time, but that's the thing. I walk around my neighborhood and I can find jobs. I just door knock and be like, maybe now as a 39-year-old man with head tattoos, they may or may not hire me, but I'd still overcome it. Eventually, somebody will hire me, like to do something, wash their car, clean up their lawn, or something. Meanwhile, I get a better job at a car wash or a grocery store or something. While I'm there, I get a better job or raise up if you don't have a skill to commodify and sell it or a trade or something or a trainer or something, then you got to get a job while you build a skill. It's just you got to put time into it. I put that time into it. Instead of going to high school parties, I got great at wrestling. I was cutting weight while everybody else was partying. In college, I was cutting weight while everybody else was partying. you know while everybody else is partying, I was practicing coding, computer coding, and getting a PhD. And then at some point I found game, and then that's why it took me so long to finish a PhD. That last year and a half to 2 years really drug out because it's like, oh, I figured out I could go to salsa club and swing club and start an acro yoga community in my town and get so much exposure to girls that it's just you get practice and you don't realize how bad you are until you start practicing. And that's really the humbling thing. So not only are we looking for guys that can hold a conversation, carry a conversation, we're looking for guys who want to get great at game because you're going to have to go through a lot to transform your habits, your personality, your mind, your subconscious to align yourself. And the game played at the highest level. I mean, don't expect AZD to drop down to your level to teach you. You come up to his level. That's why you don't come to Vegas if you come to residency. You're not going to come and get a girl. Don't try to get a girl. It's the hardest girl in the world to get is a local Vegas stripper or a local Vegas dancer or somebody that works in the industry. You're not going to get it. You come for a reference. You come to see what the number one player with six super hot girlfriends for the last like fucking 16 years or 17 years or something. How does he do it? It's a presence. It's a fucking sun, bro. It starts way before you say hi. Because I've seen many girls bro, three of the girlfriends that he has, he met when we moved here in Vegas. I was there when the first hello happened. I can tell you that things happened before the hello. The hello was much later after things happened. Before that, there was maybe hellos with a bunch of other people, other social interactions, social proof, whatever. The girl likely wasn't the first girl that he interacted with that night or the first girl he interacted with at that venue because we go to the same venues multiple times. So it's an accumulation of a bunch of previous social interactions. But that aside, also that night, there's preparation. We prepare to go out. There's a look, there's an attitude, there's an image reel in your mind. Can anybody deny that if you have a bad dream, you sometimes wake up agitated? Can anybody deny that if you're daydreaming about a worry or something, you feel negative afterwards? Can anybody deny if you start fantasizing about, your goals and aspirations and things like that and making it real to yourself that you feel better? Your imagination affects your attitude. Now, if you think so and so stole from you, you'll treat them a certain way. Later, you find out it wasn't them, it was someone else, or you just misplaced it. Then you treat them better. You find out they did something like how you think about people, which is your imagination, how you're thinking about them affects how you communicate, which obviously affects your game, relationships. Like it's built on communication. So what you're thinking about affects how you communicate. Now AZD takes it out of this world because he's got out of this world relationships, out of this world quality, out of this world quantity, just an out of this world dynamic for the last 17 years, just out of this world. So if you study him, be ready that you're going to get out of this world mindsets. He doesn't operate like a regular guy. He doesn't think like a regular person. It's all in the mindset. Like he used to say, it's all in the state of mind. And it looks like magic and it is magic. And it takes so much discipline and focus and the ability to surrender and the ability to master your inner world, your inner reality, because lots of things will happen in life and lots of things will happen at night in the set with the girl or whatever is going on with your life. Things happen in life, man. People die, like all kinds of shit. It affects your state of mind. And to be a master of that and to be a master of seeing little shifts that happen. Because when you're flying a rocket ship, man, you got to have perfect aerodynamics. And when you're gaming at this level, you got to have perfect aerodynamics, perfect game. Little mistakes just crash sets. Like I was watching this video and this guy was talking about doing business with billionaires. He had like 94, 84 or something billionaires he had done business with, real estate guy. And, lessons learned from billionaires, like if you make one mistake, if you cost them time, if you're late for a meeting, if whatever, one miscommunication, they're done with you. They'll find someone else that can do your job. You're not that special. What's special is that they can trust you, and that's hard to come by as a billionaire. And it's hard to come by that as a very fine woman who sees billionaires and lots of guys and a billion guys come through the club. What's special about you is, man, if it's your money, then the next guy who has more money, it's going to be that. It's your character. And what's your character is just how you respond to everything that happens. Before you try to learn all the techniques, you should just figure out that your attitude and your mood, your mindset, your emotional condition. That's why if you can't even talk enthusiastically and with passion about what you do, there's no hope to get a fine woman. Fuck it. Now play the money game. Just go buy her a bunch of shit. And, if you're the best option around her, then she may go with you and she'll crash your life because you can't handle her negativity, bro, because you have no game. You have no inner awareness. That's game. Game here is inner awareness that yields outer results with relationships. Everybody else game, pickup game, is outer actions to yield outer results. But there's a whole inner world, bro. You're just tricking somebody into seeing you high value, but then when it gets down to it, you're missing the whole human nature. She's going to follow you for the rest of her life if you do it right. If you do it right. If you do it wrong, then she won't. There's no reason for a guy and a girl to ever break up if you loved each other. Why would you break up? We grew apart. What does that mean? If she was following you, how did she grow apart from you? You don't have the same interests. My girl has very different interests than me. So what do you mean grow apart? You resent each other? Did you find out that guys have shitty character? You just kept sticking it out until it was just too miserable and a better option came along, even if that better option was like just be alone? That's pathetic. Clearly, you were short-sighted when you got with each other and lacked self-awareness. So why don't you guys spare yourself a lifetime of suffering and learn some fucking game? And how do you learn game? Well, where are all the game coaches? You got a bunch of coaches, all of them in the world, who crash their relationships. Crash, crash, crash. I invite you to research any coach anywhere who doesn't crash their relationships. Okay, and then what? You figure it out on your own. Good luck. Good luck. You and every other guy. Look around and you're clearly that one exception. You're gonna figure it out. You got this, man. Because everybody around you, there's some people that figured it out. No, there's nobody around you. Look around you, man. What's their enthusiasm level around their girl? How much does she respect him? Does she taunt him? Does she check him? Does she bust his balls sometimes? Oh, you want that kind of relationship? Weak, weak. That's why you never have multiple girls because no girl wants to be with a guy who another girl is busting on. Weak. Convince yourself it's like good somehow because you have no other options. And that's the humility you have to face when you start going at it, when you try to get good at game, is that you're weak. But you can be strong because it's a mindset. Even a little guy can be strong, so can you. So could you. Okay, so I'm about to go out with AZD in the pack. I think Wolf, our lawyer's going out. IMC top rank, junior captain. I'll give him honorary junior captain rank. He was a captain. Not many people can hang at captain level. All right, everybody. $47 gets you in to AZD's University. That's 3 days a week, about 3 hours. You get about 10 hours a week, about 40 hours a month. Plus, there's quantum leaps, these short stories. So it's only about 3, 4 hours of these stories. You can go with just that. So powerful. If you follow the accounts, these are free clips. I'm telling you, the $47 upgrade is really like $500. It's so fucking valuable. And if you don't like it, quit. Because I guarantee you'll like it. Nobody quits. They only quit when he kicks them out or he changes the pricing and then people have to cancel or whatever. Or they're retarded. I mean, that we do get, I mean, any Joe Schmo can like sign up. But if you're not retarded, if my stream here made sense to you, then I think you would love AZD University. Other than that, I mean, there's get involved in some sort of way. None of you really wanted to jump on live this time. Tamash, been talking with you years and years and years, bro. AZD has it. You can tell my evolution. You talked to me years and years ago. It's $47. I know you're in Europe, et cetera, et cetera. It's $47. It's not going to go down. It's only going to go up. G-Town Dom, not sure if we've ever spoken before, but want to see you on. I'm going to finish my tap in, guys, loosening up and preparing what I was saying. You got to have a conversation with the girl. Before that, it's before any of the hellos and anything. It's an attitude. How do you prepare to go in field? That's what you learn when you come do residency. And you got to come with an empty cup to learn how to do it. You don't know how to do it, or you'd be doing it. Not this way. This way works the highest level with a team, a pack movement, because your power as a group is always more than just power individual. But how does a pack of alpha males operate with each other without crossing lines, button heads, collapse, like crashing into each other's, creating problems with different girls, etc. You have boundaries. You know how to move. Like there's a way to do it. And the only hope for any man out there ever getting game is continual study with AZD. And you either move to Vegas or you build your own IMC Nation where you are. You get better at game, better confidence, better communication, start pulling guys and build a team. And then you will apply this game. That's the thing. This game, what AZD teaches, will unlock for you. You don't even see what you're learning yet until you either have multiple girls, first one girl, then a level unlocks, then multiple girls, hella levels unlocked. Then you really see AZD's got the aerodynamics for fucking warp or Mach 7 or something, like supersonic, hypersonic speed. There's an aerodynamics to it, but you can't appreciate it until you get to two or more girls. And the other way, you build a team. If you have a team of guys that you're trying to run, your leader, and you're making things happen, even if you're delegating roles or whatever, if you're part of somebody else's group, it's never going to work because as soon as you have different beliefs, they'll kick you out. But you create your own group of IMC or wingmen or whatever, you lead them, teach them, they'll eventually become IMC Nation. If you can make that happen with like three or more guys, then a new level of AZD's philosophy will unlock for you. That's only available to guys who live in Vegas. Not because he hides it, but because you can't apply it until you have guys that are in alignment with you. So you can operate as a unit. When you have multiple guys that can operate as a unit when you go out, and now if you can operate in the long term, because that's what I'm talking about, long arc, not a fast turnover. When you can do a long arc, then man, now you really can grow. And that's what you got in IMC Vegas. Faster growth than you can imagine, man. Because if you could imagine it, you would have already done it. It's beyond what you're thinking. So start with AZD University, everybody. Message me if you need to find the link. It's floating around everywhere. I'll see you on the next one. Salute. Be the best. Fuck the rest. IMC Nation Las Vegas. Os. J. Guru Dev.